Ba. Welcome to Airship 3. Passenger unrecognized. Please speak to register voice into system.
Good to be back.
Ba. Voice recognized. Welcome back, Mistress Lilac. Would you like to hear the safety features of this airship?
No, that's not necessary.
Airship safety disclaimer. Start. Ba.
God damn it.
Warning. The Dub Talk podcast may contain language and content that may not be suitable for younger passengers of this airship. Listener distraction is advised. Bah. Please be advised that spoilers for many anime may occur, so if you're not caught up with any anime we may discuss, please be prepared for spoilers. If unable to become aware, National Defense Force earmuffs and eye shields may be available. If this is inadequate, please ask for a medical transfer to the research tower. Bah.
Okay, is that all the safety features that we have to go through?
Please remember, opinions expressed are the individual passengers and captains on this airship and do not reflect the Dub Talk podcast as a whole.
Apparently not.
Safety features have been stated. Would you like me to repeat again? Bah.
No. We don't need to repeat this all over again. Let's just start the episode, shall we?
Bah. Initiating episode. Project Karneval start.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to Dub Talk, the podcast where a group of carnies get together under the big top and discuss the latest and greatest in English dubs. My name is Stephanie. Now I'm fucking with you. My name is Megan, and I'm joined tonight by my wife, Lilac.
Woo!
At least if you ask my mom, we are.
At least if you ask Megan's mom, apparently. We're married now.
We're married now. The wedding is optional. Bring cake. And money.
Especially money.
Money. We want to pay off our debts. And cats. Lots of cats.
Lots of cats.
Anyway, this week we're taking a break from all that seasonal stuff going on, and we've wanted to discuss a show that's been tossed around between us since the podcast got started.
Yeah!
Plus, we totally needed something to put up in a week because Steph likes consistency, damn it! And the 1 week thing is going so well! Sorry, I'm getting up about these monsters attacks lately. I'm trying to read the script!
I'm sorry, I wrote this. We weren't sure if it was me or her who's saying, so she's reading the intro I wrote.
Welcome to Airship Derp! Tonight we go rob Manglobe's grave and talk about the 2013 series Karneval. If you haven't heard of this series, probably because Gigi is hiding it from all of existence, here's a quick summary. Gigi hates this show.
Gigi hates this show.
So we've distracted her with a box of wine and a body pillow of naked JJ. So here's a plot summary that we've happened to grab from the crusty hands of the Manglobe ghost. Henai searches for someone important to him, with only an abandoned bracelet as a clue. Gariki sticks. I can read, not well, but I can read, and those letters are backwards. Gariki steals and pickpockets to get by from day to day. The two meet in a strange mansion where Anastasia Munoz tries to eat Henai. And they are set up and soon become wanted criminals by the military security operatives. When Henai and Gariki find themselves in a hopeless predicament, they encounter none other than the country's most powerful organization, Circus. Circus is a defense organization that works for the government. I don't know where they get any money. They perform raids to capture criminals and solve crimes that the security force otherwise cannot handle. After their raids, they put on shows as an apology for scaring the citizens, doing one better than the Avengers. We don't want to talk about a DC-driven circus. Their group consists of the strongest and most capable fighters that use a special type of bracelet known as a circus ID to fight. This episode is starting so well.
We're off to a great start, folks.
Oh.
Keep this going for a couple hours.
By the end of this, you're going to want to draw us as Hiruto and Tsukitachi. It's clear that Lilac is Hiruto because she's the smart one.
Can we have that, please? That'd be awesome.
Please. Except for she gets the rabbits and I get the sheep because I think sheep are cooler. Anyways, as
I
with
like
our...
the rabbits, so I'll take them.
I can't brush my fur. Brush me. No. Anyway, as always with our top reviews, we're going to be covering the casting of major players in the series, going over our thoughts on performances, and talking about our overall thoughts on the dub as a whole. We've got a lot of ground to cover and not enough elephants to pull up our trents. So let's start off with the director and the writers.
Writers
in this
as
case,
in plural.
Plural. And oh dear Jesus, here we go. Starting off with the director, we have one Mr. Christopher Bevins, who directed series such as Terror and Resonance, Gangsta, and Harmony. And on the writing strings, we have a duo that makes Jet shit himself and have a conniption.
Yes.
Brace yourselves, children.
I don't know if
I
don't know if they'll handle it.
Okay, in all fairness, both of these gentlemen do have stuff that they've written that is very well done.
Yes.
But they've earned a bit of a reputation among them both. We have J. Michael Tatum and Tyson Reinhardt. For things that J. Michael Tatum has written, he has written Assassination Classroom, Aka 13, and Attack on Titan. For Tyson Reinhardt, he has written everyone's favorite light novel harem series, Neto J.
And there goes Roots in the corner. In his little ball.
He's also written for Tokyo Ravens and Brave Witches. So, in terms of directing and writing, how do we feel?
Oh, God.
God. I'll say this, direction-wise, this show has a really strong casting and direction to it.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that, because a lot of the casting, when we go through it, a lot of it's well-known actors, but in roles you normally don't expect them to be in.
Yeah, this is a dub that legitimately takes risks with its casting. There are a couple of them that, when we get to them, I would say are a little bit more conventional, but for the most part, Bevins did a really good job casting the show and giving really good voice direction. Mm-hmm. I would say there's maybe one character I have active issues with, and we'll get to him later on. But
that one character, I know you're talking about which one you are. I don't really have, like, outstanding issues, but I can. There are small problems I do have with it.
There are certain elements that come up as the end of the series unfolds, and as you, or if you're smart enough during the series, you can kind of pick up on what they are. But that character is its own bag of fun. It's its own
problem.
Yeah, it's its own problem, and it again, this is a Man Globe series, so any hopes of this getting a sequel are basically slim to none unless another studio would come in and pick up on it. Though I wouldn't mind seeing Mappa throw their hand into the ring, because I feel like Mappa would be a fun studio to pick this up with all the color work and all the their designs. What?
Mappa would be a fun studio if they were to do a reboot of this.
However, there is a very, very, very large open target on this show.
The writing is terrible.
Yeah!
That is this. If I have any problem with this dub in its entirety, it's the goddamn writing.
Yeah, saying that the writing on this show, it's not the worst I've seen or covered for this podcast. I mean, for God's sakes, I've had to fucking watch Dramatical Murders dub, and that was awful.
Yep.
In terms of writing. But, oh lord, where do we start?
Oh god, how about SOB, Ass Clown? What else? What is another line that
whine like a bitch, get hit like a bitch.
Come on, girls, you're both pretty.
Okay, I did laugh at that though.
That was kind of funny.
That was funny, but
here,
it's still.
It's been a while since I've run into a badly like a not so well written show. It's been a while. It's frustrating, especially because on the Tatum end, because the past couple of shows I've watched where Tatum has written stuff has been phenomenal. That being like Aka in 91 Days. But then I come back to this, which was a few years ago, and I'm like, no!
Yeah, that's the thing,
No!
is like, I specifically mentioned Aka for Tatum, because it was a Tatum and Bevins show where Bevins directed and Tatum wrote for it.
Yep.
I believe Tyson Reinhardt and Brave Witches is another.
Yes,
but I haven't
Bevins
watched
is the director for Brave
I have
Witches.
not watched Brave Witches yet.
I have not, either.
I should, because I actually myself enjoy Strike Witches. But I mean, like, we've all kind of seen... I mean, even with Neto J, there were some shit in Neto J that fucking drove me up a wall. Bad Mamma Jamma Hamma. But I mean, like, and this is my thing too, is after I watched the anime all the way through, I actively started picking up the manga for this that's released by Yen Press. Mm-hmm. And there is high nor hair of Garaki cursing. Or someone like Tsukitachi saying, like, come on girls, you're both pretty, to Akari and... what the hell was his name? Akari and Hiruto.
I think my main issue with the show, it's not 100% the swearing. Like, it was a lot of cursing. Like, occasionally that's fine. I don't mind. But when you start using things like SOB and going into, like, modern slang and terminology, that's the bigger issue I have, because there's a lot of modern slang and terminology. And for, like, an alternate universe kind of situation show like this, I don't really think it fits the world. It doesn't really fit the context and the content for me. And it kind of just really pushes me off. Like, because this is actually the first time I watched the dub. I have seen the show when it was simulcasting a few years back, but this is the first time I'm actually listening and watching the dub and seeing the show again for the first time. And I just could not stand the writing. And it's so rare for me to be so bothered by it.
Yeah, honestly, for her especially it is. I mean, the first time I watched the simulcast, the dub, was maybe just after we had started doing Dub Talk. Mm-hmm. So it's been about 2 years.
Yeah.
So... I mean, like, it's not the worst thing I've ever heard, but when I had actually called her and I said, okay, what do you want me to listen for? And she goes, just listen for all the slang and all this stuff. And I realized, like, once she had told me to pay attention for it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is really weird. Because a lot of it is specifically directed onto Garaki and Tsukitachi, to be fair.
That's where the majority of it comes from. To be fair, there are other characters that have those moments, but Tsukitachi and Garaki are the two big ones.
And the big thing is, too, is that they have direct foils as characters. Hiruto to Tsukitachi and Yogi to Garaki.
Yep.
And I feel like if you're, to me at least, as a fan, it feels like you're not understanding the two characters if you have to resort to that to tell the differences between them. I think their personalities in themselves speak volumes. And especially for Garaki, who does go through arguably the largest character development in all of the show.
Yep.
It is really distracting. And it's really distracting from said actor's performance. Especially in a show where, like the both of us have said, the directing isn't too conventional. And while there are a lot of really big named people in here, they aren't used in the way that you would necessarily associate them with at the time that this dub came out.
Yeah, and if the writing hadn't taken me out so much with all of the modern terminology and slang that was written in there, I really would have gotten more enjoyment from the show itself and the English dub. because I would have been able to pay more attention to those unconventional choices in casting and their performances. But here I am, stuck with writing that's really taking me out of the show as a whole. And so it makes it very difficult for me to really pay attention to these performances and these characters. And because I will be brutally honest when I have to be. Hence my outburst originally when we got to this subject. And it has been a long time since I've run into a show that I've really disliked the writing on. Because a lot of the simuldubs and the home video releases I've seen in the past probably 6 to 8 months or so, I've enjoyed immensely. I haven't run into really any issues or really needed to nitpick anything. But
I have not had your luck.
No, you have not.
I have not had your luck.
You've been watching trash. But
no, not even trash. I just happen to get unstuck on the shows that are just happen to have immense fan scrutiny, is the way we'll say it.
Fair. But the fact that the writing really took me out of the show and dub as a whole, I think it's a rather large problem to me, and it really did affect my entire watching experience. That being said, the dub for Karneval, it was probably released 2014.
2013, 2014, yeah.
The show was spring 2013, so I would say at least a year. So probably about 2014.
Yeah, it's now currently, unfortunately, on the save label, which is really sad because it is an enjoyable anime. It is an enjoyable anime,
silly, even though the story itself has its own flaws. But
yeah,
it is
in the sense that
it's
a read the manga ending. And I have read the manga, and it's actually really good. Because there's a lot of things that come up that don't get explained, but you're still enjoying yourself enough. Because it's really colorful and really interesting.
Yeah. But to give some credit here, because the point I'm trying to make is, this dub came out probably about 2014 or so. I've seen at least one of these writers, I've seen them do a lot better. The other one, I haven't seen enough of their writing to really say if they've done better or worse. To be fair, Netoge wasn't the worst thing in the world that Tyson has done.
Honestly,
that show is a piece of trash to begin with.
Honestly, if anything, Tyson Reinhardt fucking made that more enjoyable.
Exactly.
The English dub of Netoge makes the show more enjoyable.
Much tolerable. But yeah, just to be fair, these two writers at least have had opportunities to write better shows.
And they have grown as writers.
They have. I have to give them credit where credit is due in that regard and not just say, hey, this thing's a piece of shit. But it's an interesting progression when you think about that, though, going from a script for, this show and then going into, let's say in Tatum's case, 91 Days, Aka. Assassination Classroom did have its moments where it kind of backtracked a little bit, but it was still really
I never really noticed it in Assassination Classroom because, again, it was still really, really enjoyable where it didn't bother me as much. I mean, there's the moment we will not talk about with somebody, with Tyson, but I would still even say from there, they've both improved in the last 4 years. 2 to 3 years.
Actually, if I recall correctly, Tatum and Tyson were the writers for Attack on Titan.
Yes, they were, both.
So yeah, so I can say I've seen something aside from Netoge that's moderately more well-written that Tyson has done. But, just to be fair, just because I'm, really criticizing heavily on the writing of the show doesn't mean that everything that they've done is shit. Because again, they have progressed and we have seen better written shows from each of them. And I have to give credit where credit is due there. It's just the writing here took me out so bad and it bothers me.
And to be fair, there are other writers that we genuinely enjoy that have fucked shit up.
Yep.
I mean, I have genuinely enjoyed stuff that Jamie Markey's written, but I'm not a really big fan of the writing on Dragon Maid, personally.
And I mean, I've enjoyed things that Clint Bickham has written, but Ultimate Otaku Teacher is also a thing, so...
Yeah, so it's not like we're being oh, we're gonna play favorites with people and stuff, and honestly, it's not. It's shit happens.
Yeah. I mean, again, I will be brutally honest where I need to be. If anyone ever needs, brutal honesty from me, I'm more than happy to give it. I will give it to people.
Yeah, really.
Like, I will give brutal honesty to everybody in the Dub Talk crew too, and they're fine with it. So
She has.
yeah, like I think it's probably because I'm used to being honest and open about things, and coming from a theater entertainment kind of background, being critical of stuff because I'm used to seeing like different shows and how they're written and what they go for and the contents, and that's the stuff I studied in college. So that's where my brain and my background is. But I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, directing and on directing side, I'm fine with, because we had the unconventional casting. Some of these performances were phenomenal.
Yeah, there's some stuff in here that people genuinely rag on these people for some of the casting in here, and I'm like, are you fucking high?
Yeah, it's insane. I'm like, what?
And I will have to say, like, if everyone's kind of got like a director that they always don't think of when they talk about who like their favorite actor or favorite director is, and I've genuinely enjoyed a lot of Chris Bevan's work over my entire life as an anime fan. Like, back when I was getting into anime, do you remember when the Funimation channel used to run?
I never had the Funimation channel.
Okay, look, the Funimation channel ran 3 fucking shows, and they were Suzuka, Negima, and Spiral.
I'm not surprised.
I have a hatred of the show Suzuka because of this. I hate Suzuka with a passion.
At least you like Fuka, though.
I didn't watch Fuka. I watched the Fuka bloopers.
Oh, you only watched bloopers. I forgot you only watched bloopers.
You're fat and adopted.
You might like Fuka, then. You might.
I might like Fuka, but my hatred of Suzuka will always fucking live. But, like, I literally, the first box set, like, the actual, like, first complete series I ever bought was Christopher Bevan stuff in Spiral.
Mm.
So, I've genuinely enjoyed a lot of his work. I mean, and this is another show that I really like that he's directed. I mean, a lot of people do rag on this as, like, a bad dub, but I don't think it's that at all. I mean, I've watched stuff like Burst Angel, I've watched Case Closed back in the day, I've watched Danganronpa, Spiral, like, a bunch of stuff that he's done, and I think Chris Bevins is really great, and I like that he does do stuff that is genuinely unconventional at times.
Yeah.
I mean, even when we did Aka, I don't think I would have ever expected, Jason LeBrecq to be Lilium in that show.
No, yeah. Like, he's... I mean, I've been enjoying a lot of Bevan's dubs recently, because I can't keep that far track of how long I've been an anime fan and what dubs and directors I've enjoyed the most. I don't have that good of a memory, but
I only do because it's on my shelf.
It's really especially in recent years, like mostly since doing this podcast, but when I was doing anime reviews too, because I would look into like directors and all that stuff. It was really in recent years where I started picking up on things more, and I've realized that I've enjoyed a lot of Christopher Bevan's dubs. And yeah, you are right. There are a good amount of the shows that he's done, there are a good amount of unconventional choices here. And
fucking Josh as Toyohisa.
Toyohisa in Drifters. God, what else did we have? Casting himself as one of the leads for Terror and Resonance. There we go. That's
even Nino was not somebody I would have ever pegged Tatum as playing. I mean, yeah. I'm sorry, Bevan's just playing, not Tatum.
Wrong.
Or like Damon Mills as Damon Mills. It's like, okay, we have a character. Like, I hate how we're getting off track, but we're talking about Bevan's directing. We have this character that Mamoru fucking Miyano is playing in the Japanese.
Yes.
Let's give it to Damon Mills, a gentleman. Unless you're like super into dubs like we are, the general public isn't going to really take notice of.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that about his directing. Like, say what you want about, like, and I always hate this argument, it's like, Funimation always cast the same people. Yeah, well, that's not a knock against them. That's a compliment to the directors and actors. because they have an oppressive range as actors and actresses, but it's also on the directors who know that, hey, I can push my actor to go to this place that they maybe didn't know what they had in them. And I feel like Karneval's a really good dub to judge that on, too. Because there are stuff that's in here that is fantastic that you wouldn't think of. So,
oh, absolutely. When we get to probably my favorite character and performance
really.
on the fucking show.
Oh,
dear sweet baby Jesus.
I mean, this is the dub that did spawn voice acting black magic as a thing.
Oh, yes, this is.
I forgot this was the show. But we've been talking about the director and writer for almost a half hour. So let's start getting into some characters.
Yeah, so bottom line, directing and the casting side, cool. The writing is probably the weakest element of the dub.
Is the low point of a dub that is genuinely pretty good. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna start moving on to characters, and we're gonna start off with Paldino, who is a older gentleman who runs a company that may be a front for Kafka, the antagonistic group in this series, and his granddaughter?
Yes.
His granddaughter Aliska. Or Alaska, depending on how you say it. So, Paldino is played by R. Bruce Elliott, and Aliska is played by Tia Ballard. To go over R. Bruce Elliott's other roles that you may know him in, he is Sogon Kenzaki in Aquarion Logos, he is Makarov in Fairy Tail, and he is Fei Wong Reed in the Tsubasa Chronicles series. To which, if you ever just want to watch the good part of Tsubasa, just watch Tokyo Revelations and be done with it. That's the fun part where everyone starts dying.
Wonderful.
No, that's the part where Fi gets his eye ripped out, and I actively made my friend a shirt when she was younger, when she would turn 16, due to a phrase called "It's all fun and clamp until somebody loses an eye," because inevitably in every Clamp franchise, someone loses an eye. Shout out to my other Stephanie. And Tia Ballard plays characters like Beast in Black Buckler.
I has words.
There's too many B's in a row, that's why. Beast in Black Butler Book of Circus, Garm in Garo the Animation, and Hitoe Umemura in Selector Infected Wecross. Or Wixis if you're a fucking dumb American. It's pronounced Wecross. Fuck you, Hardy. Hardy has literally burned that into my mind.
Yes.
Tonight, Megan throws everybody else on the Dub Talk podcast under the airship.
Listen, we already threw Jet, we already threw Hardy, who's next?
Gigi.
Oh, Gigi, yup. We got
Gigi, Roots, we already got Roots.
Yup.
But speaking of performances, I enjoy Paldino as R. Bruce Elliott is playing an evil old guy. Because usually when R. Bruce Elliott plays an older gentleman, it's usually a nice older gentleman.
Yeah. The only thing I kind of wish is that we got to see Paldino a bit more.
However, his granddaughter...
Because Paldino wasn't that memorable to me, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, it was like, hey, Bruce, you busy?
Sup? Tia Ballard, on the other hand.
Oh my, I love Tia Ballard in this, because I don't think I would have ever remembered that being Tia Ballard. And one of my favorite things is whenever she gets jealous of somebody going near Karaku.
Yeah.
I believe she calls Skumo like a whore or something at one point.
Oh, they're a whore.
Get that whore away from my Karaku!
I think that was like at the end, like episode like 12 or something.
Yeah, when they like knock her out to put her in the submarine. Yeah, because Tia Ballard Aliska really wants to ride Karaku's dick. I'm sorry.
She really does. How old is this girl again?
I don't know. Like, she's just. Please be legal. When I Google you, Aliska, please be legal.
Because I think I read Karaku was 18.
Yeah, Karaku is 18. Oh god, and I don't even want to know what the age of consent is in this country.
Oh god.
Lordy. Oh god, she's 14, almost 15. Nope. Abandoned ship.
Time to
abort mission.
Guys. We're out.
Abort mission.
Abort, quick.
But yeah, like, she is like the most angry little 14-year-old hellbent on getting. She's the most angry little jailbait. My little jailbait, anger is magic.
Oh god.
Oh boy. But no, she's really, really good, and I wouldn't have honestly pegged Tia Ballard as this character.
Neither would have I, honestly.
Because, like, thinking about it as I would have thought about it 2 or 3 years ago, this is somebody I probably would have pegged maybe like Laura Woodhull or Alison Victorin in.
Well, probably. Because for me,
or like Alexis Tipton.
It was 2014. It was, is that when Shiki originally came out?
Probably. I don't know. I still haven't watched
I think that was, no.
Oh, that's right, because Shiki is the show you hate.
Before that, but it wasn't, no, Shiki came out before that, because I remember I'd gotten it before I graduated. And, unfortunately, Megumi.
Yeah,
That's
you
me
hate
and Tia.
Tia in that show.
That's me and my thought of Tia at that time. And I think it was long after Karneval that I saw Kami-sama Kiss, and obviously that changed my mind. But my mindset at that time was probably, Tia Ballard! Oh shit, I don't like her.
And that's the thing is, like, literally, since then, Tia Ballard, our perception of her has obviously changed.
Oh yeah, totally.
Honestly, like, now it's like, Tia Ballard's in this show, hell yeah! Tia Ballard's directing this show, hell yeah! We love you, Tia.
We love you, Tia.
But I really enjoyed how she got not only being, like, naive and scared across, but immensely jealous jailbait.
Oh yeah. Like, oh, that was phenomenal. She, not only the whole jealousy bit, but she is a spoiled little rich girl. Let's admit that. And that attitude that she carries towards, like, the people that work for her grandfather, that's brought across very well.
Especially Uro, who is not paid enough for this job.
I'm not paid enough to deal with this little fucking brat of a girl.
Get Karaku, get in. What do you mean you failed to get the bitch? Don't pay me enough for this bullshit. I'm not a babysitter, I'm a bishi.
Put that little bitch in a sub and send her ass out.
We're gonna send her ass to season 2. Too bad there is no season 2 at the end of Water.
But yeah,
God, we are petty.
We're so petty. But yeah, I really got a kick out of Tia as Alaska. I really did, because not only did she have the Sami rich girl personality, but all of the jealous bits. Ooh, that was the best.
Yeah, really. So are we good talking about Palladino and Alaska?
I think so, yes.
Alright, so let us move on now to Kiharu, Kagari, and Uro. They are the Veruga, or the monstrous beings that Circus hunts down, that work for Palladino, and
there's some secrets and things going on.
Secret monstery things.
Which we never really find out what the hell was in the basement, by the way. That kind of bugs me.
Give it a couple years and Aaron and the gang will figure it out.
Yes.
Maybe with or without. Ah! Because there's a character coming up and talking about soon. I get to make jokes about that show. So, Kiharu is voiced by Jason Lebrecht. Kagari is voiced by Tyson Reinhardt, and Uro is voiced by Brandon Potter. So, Kiharu, or Jason Lebrecht, is also Lilium in Aka 13 Territory Inspection Division.
Going back to Lilium. Get wrecked, Lebrecht!
Also get wrecked in this show.
Yes.
He is Yato in Noragami, and he is also Shaoran in all of the Tsubasa Chronicles stuff. Tyson Reinhardt is Tadakazu Taira in All Out, Hifumi Yamada in Danganronpa, and La Valley in Rage of Bahamut. And Brandon Potter is Nicholas in Gangsta, Shinohara in Tokyo Ghoul, and Sven in Black Cat. And I do want to point this out because it is hilarious, the hilarious derby, the hilarity derby that is this show's casting in the Japanese. So Uro is actually voiced by Junichi Suwabe. This is going to be relevant later.
Oh,
this is going to be relevant.
Oh boy.
And actually, son of a bitch, I know one of you is him. Pardon me a second. Megan needs to go through the KAmiYU dictionary because
The KAmiYU encyclopedia
KAmiYU encyclopedia
of knowledge.
of knowledge. Where the hell are you?
That'd be funny if it was a legit thing.
It probably is. Because Kiharu... Okay. Because I'm pretty sure one of them is who I think he is. One of you is who I think... I knew it was you! You son of a bitch!
What?
I knew it was you. So... I was looking up, because if you don't know and you haven't ever read the Karneval manga or picked it up from Yen Press, I swear we're not shilling for them. If you've never read the manga, the original mangaka for Karneval, Toya Mikanagi, actually draws little diaries based on when the KAmiYU would record the anime, or would record the drama CDs. And she actually drew all of the KAmiYU who did it. So the volume I grabbed was volume 3 because I knew this is about where the anime goes to, is the end of volume 3, the beginning of volume 4. Okay. So like I said, Uro is Junichi Suwabe, but they also had the actors for Kagari and Kiharu. And Kiharu is played by Tomonaki Mayano, who actually plays a lot of things as Yang in Gangsta, and he was in a lot of other things. He was actually not in Aka 13. I'm trying to see if he crosses over with Jason somewhere, but I don't believe he actually does, unfortunately. He is also Mickey in Yuri on Ice. But the funnier thing was when I saw Toshiyuki Toinga, I was like, son of a bitch, I know who that is, because he's Yuri Katsuki.
Oh!
And his boss is, Victor. Welcome to Megan's KAmiYU Dictionary Trash Lord time.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
We hope you've enjoyed your stay. But no, honestly though, I want to talk about, Kagari and Kiharu first.
Okay.
Over, Uro, because one thing I will say is Brandon Potter's Uro is fantastic.
I was about to say, like, kind of jumping into it. Speaking of unconventional casting.
Sting. Because this is before he's Bishonen Demon Man from Kami-sama Kiss.
Yep.
So, just saying that. I actually really liked how Tyson and Jason played off each other.
Yeah.
Because being on this podcast, I don't think I've actually done an episode where we talked about Tyson Reinhardt and not been hard on him as an actor.
I don't think we really talk about Tyson in terms of acting all that often, actually.
But he was really, really good in this.
He was really enjoyable.
Yeah, him and Jason off each other are hysterical.
Basically, you have Jason Lebrecht, who's the crazy, loud, obnoxious one, and then you have Tyson over here, who's basically the more logical, maybe somewhat quiet one, who's like...
Video game man
who's like, shut the fuck up, Jason, get wrecked.
Shut up and do your job.
Shut up and just do things, or get wrecked, Lebrecht. But it was...
Or get wrecked, Lebrecht. That is never going to go away, and I love it.
It's never gonna go away. But, I mean, with Jason, we've seen him play very, very energetic and spastic characters before, so this is almost nothing really new to me.
But at the time, I think it would actually have been
maybe
new, because outside of Train from Black Cat,
probably
when I think about older Jason Lebrecht roles, the things that pop into my head are Shaoran from Tsubasa Chronicles, who is very more the straight man and very how to say it. He is the main character and he's going through a lot of things.
Right.
So he's not who I would have actively thought of.
No, but at the same time, basically kind of what I was going with was like, even though, for me, Jason's not exactly anything new, but it's still enjoyable. And then going back to Tyson, again, this is completely different. Because you would never think that Tyson could play a Bishonen character. And here we
Yeah, really? Yes. Ta-da!
Here he is, and it works really well, and I'm very impressed by it. I'm like,
Ta-da!
why do we not have more roles for Tyson like this? It's like, come on.
Because he can do
has
it.
me truly impressed.
Yeah, and that's the thing is he can actively do it, and it's not out of place.
No.
It doesn't sound forced. He sounds really natural in it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, because trust me, all of us were super hard on him as Yamada in Danganronpa.
Oh, God.
I haven't seen Rage of Bahamut, so I don't know. I can't really state for Lavali.
Oh, actually, Lavali was actually not too shabby, now you say it. I forgot he was Lavali in Rage of Bahamut. It wasn't too bad. That's another one where you didn't really expect him where he was.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think it might be a weird age thing coming into play, where Lavali's a bit older than maybe Tyson actually is. I can't remember what my comments were on that. But again, now we have Tyson here as a Bishonen character. This has been my favorite Tyson performance that I've ever seen from him. I will fully admit that, and I will defend that with my life. Damn it!
Yeah, this is... No, I'll defend you. I'll go with you, man. Like, I mean, I will punch a motherfucker for you. But, like, it is really, really funny that you say that, like, as a way to transition it into, Brandon Potter.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Who, again, this is before we really get to hear him as, in Kami-sama Kiss.
That,
where...
and I think really got this before we really got to see him kind of expand in his range, because we also forget, and lo and behold, it's another Bevan show, Nicholas from Gangsta.
In Gangsta. Where he plays a deaf man.
Yep. So in the rare times where Brandon comes in as a major character at some point, I have never had a problem with him, honestly. He does really well with anything he's given. And the same is said here as Uro. Again, you wouldn't think that Brandon Potter could play a Bishonen character with that deep register of a voice, but here we fucking go! Yes!
Yeah, and here's the thing, is that not only does he play, like, very calm and very soothing towards Aliska, he plays menacing to Eva and Skumo, and he plays very conniving.
Yeah.
He plays that he is the man behind the strings.
Yep.
Which is, again, really cool for Brandon Potter, because you don't think of him as someone who plays this, because when I think of roles that Brandon Potter plays, you brought up Nicholas, but even then, like, Shino Hara is a very morally gray character, but he is very much, like, the good guy deep down. Like, he's not manipulatively evil.
Right.
A lot of his, maybe except for in Kami-sama Kiss, which again is going to come after this, especially because that character doesn't start featuring in prominence till season 2.
Right.
So
we didn't really even get much of that character until a couple of years ago when the second season came out.
Yeah, which was the beginning of the simuldub era.
Right.
And I remember when that was announced, a lot of people were very much like, what?
Yeah, like they didn't even realize it after the first season. It's like... Though I will admit, I was surprised, because it had been a while since I'd seen season 1, and I did not pay attention. At the end, I forgot that he was that character. I'm like, oh shit! But even then, it's not just... Again, it's not really just the unconventional casting going on here, but now that
The directing.
Yeah. Because, like you were saying, with that performance, he knows how to play the menacing character. He knows how to play this quiet yet endearing person to this little girl. He can...
To the angriest little jailbaiter.
Yes. He's capable of playing this duality that Uro has. And it's very, very well done. It's so strong. It's probably one of the strongest performances of the show, to be completely honest. And I just absolutely love it. I'm a big fan of unconventional casting when it happens sometimes. And as long as it works really well, of course. And this is one of those times where it worked really well. And also, again, to be fair, I do, again, like I said, I enjoy a lot of... I have almost no issues with anything that Brendan Potter has played. But this might be one of the first starts of where we get to see him going in a completely different direction in terms of the characters you usually see him play. Because before Karneval, we've had Black Cat, and then obviously, we have Shanks in One Piece, and that's probably the one big thing that people would know him for the most up until that point. And then we have coming in like Karneval, we have Kamisama Kiss, we have Gangsta, we have a few
Tokyo
other...
Ghoul Rude, I would give.
Tokyo
pretty popular.
Ghoul, yep. But
I'm sorry, yeah, because we didn't get to actually talk about him in the episode. Brandon Potter as Shinohara is literally one of the best performances that ever came out of that dub.
Yep.
And it is one part, like, genuine, like, you get into that character and he gets through so much of the emotion. And honest to God, if you've seen Tokyo Ghoul Rude or you've read the manga for Tokyo Ghoul and you know Shinohara's fate, hearing, like, the niceness that comes out of that character in Brandon, it makes it 10 times worse. Oshiateo, motherfucker.
No, don't remind me of the walk again. I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah, you're not the one who Cliff harasses on Twitter with that one. Okay, true facts. Cliff, I know you're probably not listening, but you know you can immediately make me dead stop when you say those words. It's like my little, like, the chip in my head makes me behave when I hear you say that. It's not fair, take it out. Now to something completely different.
And by the way, apparently we're owned by Clifford Chapin now.
Yeah, we are Dub Talk, now owned by Clifford Chapin. Like, just the Futurama logo, it says, like, they have, like, something snarky at the bottom. A Cliff Chapin entertainment product.
Oh my god.
Post more videos of Cubby in the yard.
Cubby in the yard.
Please post more videos of Cubby. She's the cutest.
She's adorable. If nobody understands what we're talking about, it's a long fucking story. We don't have time for it right now. Maybe later.
That's a story for another day.
That's a story for another day. Just not right now.
I don't know. Maybe when we start a new game or something.
Maybe. Who knows?
Who
Anyway.
knows? Are you ready to move on?
I sure as hell am.
Alright. So next up, we're gonna go to the doctors.
Oh my.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. So we have it's spelled Azana, but I believe they pronounce it Izana, and Akari.
I think
they are
it's
like Izana and Akari. Izana is a researcher of wild animals and spoilers, and Akari is the head of the research tower, which is like Circus's medical group. Mm-hmm. So Izana is played by Jerry Jewell, and Akari is played by David Matronga. Jerry. I specifically didn't list that for a reason. Jerry Jewell plays characters like Louis Asahina from Brothers Conflict, Jimmy Kudo, the older version in Case Closed, and Akito Hayama from Kodacha. Dave Matronga plays Bear Holt Hoover in Attack on Titan, Tomoya Ozaki in Clannad, and Shoto Todoroki in My Hero Academia. And speaking of My Hero Academia, you will never believe who Izana is in the Japanese.
Oh shit.
It's Nobuhiko Okamoto, who plays Bakugo.
Oh fuck.
Yeah! Speaking of actors with impressive ranges, because not only is that gentleman Bakugo, he's also Karma in Assassination Classroom, Rin in Blue Exorcist, Noya in Haikyuu, and if you would believe it, he's actually Yoichi in Seraph of the End.
Yeah, that's the part I call bullshit on.
That's the part
I call bullshit.
Shit on.
Yeah.
Fun fact, the gentleman who happens to play Akari in the Japanese, though, is one Mr. Daisuke Hirakawa. Daisuke Hirakawa, I know it's really weird, we rarely actually do talk about the Seiyu, but I feel like this is a show that's actually kind of fun about it, and
you're also Seiyu trash, so...
I'm trash, so yeah. He's also Kakuin in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders. However, for you swimming fans, he's actually not the right person I was looking for. No, he is Ray. He is Ray from Free. He is also Ray from Free.
Oh, okay.
But going over this. Oh boy!
So where are we gonna start?
We're gonna start with Aizana because if you've never watched Carnival, thank God we do a disclaimer.
Yes.
Aizana turns out to be a mole selling information and disrupting circus for Kafka.
And doing batshit crazy.
And he goes insane because the Veruga killed his family, and then he eventually realizes that they keep stopping circus all the time. He's also... What? No, I just looked back at it because I still had Daisuke Hirakawa's thing open. He's Laito from Diabolic Lovers. You can run, you can hide, but you'll never escape the Diabolic Lovers.
Never.
Fucking Dave Matranga's Uncle Dictor, too.
That's
so.
true.
But he really, people, last year people really gave Jerry Jules shit at points over Yuri on Ice. For the accent thing, which was stupid, by the way.
Yeah, so fucking
dumb. So fucking dumb. He does not sound like Gru. Fuck off. But a lot of people forget how good of an actor Jerry Jewell is. Him doing the freak out to Akari.
Oh, God.
In episode 13?
12
or 13.
It was either towards the end of 12 or it was in 13.
13. Just how nuts and desperate he sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Was because here's the thing. Jerry Jewell gets casted as nice guys all the time.
Yeah.
And Akari is your stereotypical nice guy.
Akari or Izana?
Izana. Sorry, not Akari. Izana. Just Izana. How he's, really soft-spoken, his, losing his notes in the snow and wanting to pet all the animals. And then he goes insane. Yeah.
It's I forgot that Izana went fucking nuts. Again, it's been a while since I've seen the show. So when I went into it, and I got to Jerry, I'm like, okay, it works. It works. Jerry's done these kinds of characters before. It's not that bad. Oh my God!
It's like, surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker! I am batshit insane.
And
it really works.
Yeah. I mean, I just genuinely enjoyed Aizana, Jerry's performance in Aizana, and it really stood out to me as one of the best in the show when I first watched it. I could remember that. What I could remember more is Dave as Dr. Akari.
Oh, God. Oh.
And here's the thing. This dub came out, or at least I watched it genuinely very close to when I watched Attack on Titan for the first time.
Yep.
And here's the thing. I have still never seen Clannad. I do not watch a lot of older Sentai dubs.
Yep.
Attack on Titan was effectively my introduction to Dave Matranga's acting. But here's the thing. Bearholt doesn't talk a lot in Season 1. Season 2, however...
Season 2!
Holy shit!
Him and Robert have, so many goddamn conversations.
Also, B, if you think Attack on Titan Season 2 is inferior because Eren isn't getting a bulk of the screen time, I would like you to shove a sword up your ass.
Nice. I think my introduction to Dave Matranga was probably Le Chevalier d'Eon, actually.
That is a show I genuinely want to watch, but I never got to.
He plays the title character of Deon de Beaumont. And if on the off chance we ever do a classics episode, if we start that sideshow, my bad.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
I'm sorry,
I would love
for any of you asking why that hasn't started. We picked Wolfstrain, and I'm going through. There's some stuff going on right now that making Wolfstrain's hard to watch.
Yeah. So on the off chance just as an FYI, I know we said Wolf's Rain was the pilot episode for Classics. That may not be the case anymore. Just saying. Because things happen. And Wolf's Rain is a very heavy show to get through. But with Dave Matranga, again, this is a very unconventional role for him.
Yeah, because here's the thing, he doesn't sound anything like I've heard before.
Because we're used to things like Daeon, Dibblemo. We're used to, Bertolt. I have not seen
Le Chevalier d'Eon. Is it that good?
We're used to things like Todoroki to an extent. We're used to this kind of stuff. Then you have angry fucking Dave Matranga yelling, like being an angry little shit to the airship captains and nagging them. It's great.
Akari, if David Wald is the fun police, this is Dr. No Fun.
Yes.
Like, even his workers think he's no fun and that he sucks. Because he won't let them go out and have fun. But, like, legitimately, though, like, if I had never seen this show, I probably wouldn't have as much faith in Dave Matranga as I do. Because, and I don't mean to say that, like, it's a mean thing, but, like, he's really, really fucking good in this show. And he's a really great actor that I don't think gets a lot of appreciation in the community for how well he plays and how well his range is. Because, I mean, Bearholt sounds nothing like Akari, and Akari sounds nothing like Todoroki. No. And Todoroki doesn't sound like Uncle Dictor, and Uncle Dictor doesn't sound like the blowjob man.
Now we bring it back full circle.
There we go. Everything comes back to blowjob.
I had a note about him somewhere.
I think he gets across, too, the betrayal.
Yes.
When that sound in his voice of betrayal.
That's such a strong scene on both his and Jerry's part.
Which is why I paired them together.
Right.
I just think that, and two, he also really bounces off of Hiroto and Tsukitachi together.
The interactions with those three are probably my favorite thing.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. There's a lot of really bad,
dialogue.
There's a lot of really bad dialogue in some of them. But one of the lines, while it is funny, it was stupid and didn't need to be in there, was Hiroto and Araki and Akari fighting, and then Tsukitachi's like, "Come on, girls, you're both pretty."
Yes. It was great. But yeah, this is definitely different for Dave here, because this is probably the angriest I have ever seen him get. And it's
outside of Attack on Titan Season 2.
No, but even then, it's not to this extent. Like, you can really...
I mean, he wasn't colossally angry or anything.
No, but, with Akari, like, with how he portrayed those moments where he's, like, pissed off and yelling at these other characters, a bit more of a lower register and kind of gravelly, which is very, very different for him, and I enjoy that. Akari is probably another very strong performance for me, and it was so much fun watching him get so mad at Hiroto and Tsukitachi, and considering who those two voices are, oh sweet lord, it was fun as shit.
Are you ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, next up, we are going to go over Jiki, Kichi, and Eva, who are... Kichi and Jiki are the two members of Airship 1 under Tsukitachi, and Eva is another member of Airship 2 under Hiroto, but she doesn't show up as much. So, Jiki is played by Aaron Dismuke, who also plays characters like Rail in Aka 13, Upa in Nanbaka, and Chihiro Furia in Sankore Undying Love. Kichi is played by Alison Victorin, who plays Naru Koteshi in Barakamon, the younger Jimmy Kudo in Case Closed, and Sasami Iwakura in Sasami Magical Girls Club. Eva is played by Jessica Kavanaugh, who plays Rui Hachioji in Codebreaker, Moeka Kuryu in Steins Gate, and everyone's favorite bitchy spirit from Fairy Tail, Aquarius.
Yeah, I forgot Jessica Kavanaugh was Aquarius, and this makes so much sense now.
Sense. Eat my boot, you cur!
This performance makes so much sense now, because I don't see Jessica Kavanaugh in enough things, so this was so much fun.
Yeah, she had the smallest A&N. She writes a lot more than I think, because she also wrote Sakura Quest, if I'm correct.
Yes. Actually, she hasn't written a lot, because she's done Sakura Quest, Gosick, I think Gosick anyway,
You're not supposed to mention the last one.
I don't give a shit at this point!
He keeps harassing us for episodes.
Shut the fuck up! I will get to the fucking thing! God! Don't blame me! Blame the home video release for Gosick before we get to talking about that. I'm sorry, I had to rant on that for a second. Because there are people, there's a person. There's a person.
You're like banging the table like it owes you money.
This table does owe me money. Damn it, no.
I'm sorry, Mom. Sorry, honey. God. I'll do the laundry. No, but to go over really quickly who they are in Japanese, Eva is played by Yoko Hona, who doesn't have a lot of things like Jessica Kavanaugh, honestly.
Oh, okay.
But she was Shizuku in Whispers of the Heart. Yuichi Nakamura plays Jiki, and he also plays characters such as, I'm trying to grab stuff that we would know because we watched it in the Japanese. He's a Koro in Haikyuu, actually, which makes a lot of sense thinking about it. And he's also Gurren in Seraph of the End.
Oh! Ooh, there's the kicker.
There's the kicker. There's what you came for, watching Megan squeal over that. And Kichi is played by Eri Kitamura, who plays characters such as, she's actually one of the sisters in Bakemonogatari, but you hadn't watched that. Yeah. She's Izumo Kamiki in Blue Exorcist. And she's actually the Japanese Kana from Fairy Tail.
Okay.
Going over their performances, I actually really... Jessica Kavanaugh as Eva makes total sense now.
Yeah, again, I completely forgot she was Aquarius. So I'm looking at.
By the way, there is something about Aquarius I want to get off my chest. I hope you feel guilty, you fish bitch, after what Minerva did to Lucy and you abandoned her.
Wasn't Jessica Kavanaugh Aaron's
We all
mom?
got mad about it.
No, Aaron's mom?
That would explain where she's been. Dead.
Because I think that kind of brings up my point about the performance as Eva. Because
she's Aaron's mom if Aaron's mom would have lived.
Yeah, because Aaron's mom was probably one of the more memorable performances I've seen from Jessica Kavanaugh.
Yeah, she is Aaron's mom. She is Aaron's mom.
Okay, good. That's just so I have that right.
She's also Akiko in Barakamon.
Akiko? Fuck, who's that?
Oh,
is that, Honda's mom?
I don't know, because I haven't finished Barakamon!
It's Honda's mom. But, anyway. Like, I'm used to that kind of character, because Aaron's mom was memorable. I mean, fucking Aaron's mom. And Jessica Kavanaugh was good with that. And then, minus my stupid memory in Aquarius, I'm going into Jessica Kavanaugh's Eva here. It's like,
she's really fun.
Shit. It is so much fun. Like,
she's Hiroshi's mom, not, she's Hiroshi's mom, not Honda's mom.
Aha, okay. What's the note I wrote? I said that she's one badass bitch and it's glorious. That was the note I wrote. You cur! That whole play. Oh my god.
That whole episode where she's like, you're gonna play your roles and you're gonna do them how I said. You got me?
And the guys are just like, the fuck? And then,
that also be just Nye. We adore you. We respect you, big sister. Like, that part just kills me. That episode kills me.
And then Garaki's oh no.
Oh no. And then, like, when they're eating on the beach in the forest, and Akari's like, we aren't here to smell the roses, eat your food. And she just grabs onto Skumo. Skumo is like, this beautiful vixen made us food. Be nice to her. Like, she is like the angriest mom on the airship, and it's wonderful.
It's fantastic. And I mean, going, and kind of, I guess, the best transition to go into with this. So Aaron took a boot to the face.
Oh my god, Jiki is like the jackass guy at work that nobody likes. And this is before Aaron Dismuke evolved into Snarky Jagoff, the human.
Yes. This is before we got, like, Blah Blah K Battlefront, Arslan, Baka, and all this other stuff. Oh, Lord.
I just really enjoy that Jiki is, like, does not want to hang out with them and thinks Nai is, like, the greatest hindrance on the planet Earth.
Yep.
He's like, I gotta watch this stupid thing now.
No, it's not Nai who's the greatest hindrance. It's apparently Gareki who's the greatest hindrance on fucking Earth.
Yeah, no, he's like, why is Gareki even here? Ah. But I think what's great about Aaron's performance as Jiki is how well it plays off of Kichi, Allison Victorian's absolute bitch, Kichi.
Ooh.
I did not peg her as this.
No! Allison was snarky as shit, and it's beautiful.
And I think some of the best display of this is when she yells at Yogi.
Oh, yeah.
Because her and Yogi are the same rank. And she is like, why are you and I the same rank? You're a disgrace to all. And she's like so full of herself and has a stick stuck up her butt. And it is just like, what? And it's just enjoyable, especially bouncing off of who plays Skumo, because honestly, when we get to Skumo, you would feel like the two of their roles under another director would be switched, honestly.
Even possibly. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, even all the characters I had listed for Allison's other roles, like, Kichi is a opposite from Naru, is an opposite from Jimmy, and it's definitely an opposite for all five of us who have actually watched Asami's Magical Girls Club. Fun fact, Leah Clark directed that. But I really think that the three of them work really well, especially Jessica Kavanaugh, who I wish we would hear more often.
I mean, I'm fine with her, like, writing more scripts. That's perfectly alright. Because I haven't run into any bad ones as of right now, but I also did not watch All the Ramen on the Sky, because I think she wrote it too. But
All the ramen in the sky.
All the Ramen on the Sky.
All the ramen.
All of it.
Alright. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Alright, let's talk about some voice acting black magic.
Hey! Origin story!
So, long time ago, in a bedroom far, far away, no, this is not the Star Wars porn parody, you fucking weirdos. A fat girl, just fresh out of college, decided to watch the show Karneval, and was just rekindling her relationship with her friends Hardy and Steph. So, when I had heard Hiruto the first time, I thought he was somebody else, looked it up, and was completely amazed to find out it was another person. Why? Because I thought Hiruto was J. Michael Tatum.
Wrong!
It's not. In fact, Hiruto is played by Ian Sinclair, and Tsukitachi, the airship captain for vessel number 1, is J. Michael Tatum. To go over who Ian Sinclair has played, if you don't know who he is, and if you haven't heard Gigi decide to make a pool out of the mention of his name...
And that's another point to Gigi right there.
Just throw her another box of wine, it's fine.
Yes.
He is Worik in Gangsta, Kamizuki in Seraph at the End, and Mitsuhide in Snow White with the red hair.
Mitsuhide.
Shut up.
No, Mitsuhide is a good character. I like Mitsuhide.
No, but you know what happened last time.
I will take either Zen or Obi any fucking day.
I know you'll take Zen.
I'll take fucking Zen.
Mitsuhide,
Let's face it, I would take Zen in a heartbeat.
You do a lot of other things as Zen in a heartbeat.
Shut the fuck up and let's keep going.
Moving right along. Nothing to see here. J. Michael Tatum played his characters as Butch Cassidy in Drifters, Tomoe in Kami-sama Kiss, and Shizuka Domiki in Triple X Holic. Now, the reason I said please pay attention to the fact that Junichi Suwabe is in this anime is if you have not watched a lot of dubs, there's a funny little track record about Junichi Suwabe, is that most times Ian Sinclair gets his character, and it's just by random happening. It just, even in Bevan's dub, like Aka 13, when we played the Aka 13 guessing game at AB, the second I saw that the character was voiced by Junichi Suwabe, the first thing out of my mouth was, that's Ian's character, isn't it? And they're all like, yeah.
Yes.
The reason I bring this up is that if you've watched Karneval in the Japanese, you will immediately know that Hiruto is played by Daisuke Ono.
Yep.
And if you've watched Funimation dubs,
You will know that Tatum plays a good amount of
Daisuke
Ono
Ono characters
Yep.
like Erwin, like a certain Sebastian Michaelis.
Yep.
It is so well known that in the commentary of episode 13 of this anime, they make a joke about it.
Are you serious?
They're like, oh, there's a Hiruto played by Daisuke Ono who is not Sebastian.
Oh god. That's great.
Yep.
I didn't have the time to
Oh
watch commentaries.
my god.
No, what?
You know how I said Tatum was Butch Cassidy?
Yeah.
Guess who else is Butch Cassidy?
Isn't Daisuke Ono?
Si, senorita!
Yes! That's amazing. I forgot about that.
Oh. And then if you're wondering who plays Tsukitachi, he is played by Mr. Koji Yusa, who plays characters such as I'm trying to think of Funimation stuff that they've done, that's why. He's actually Flame in Drifters. And he is Domensino Arcangelo, who is, I believe, Woolrich's dad.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yep, he's Woolrich's dad in Gangsta. But I'm trying to find one of the really big Funimation shows. He was Brain in Overlord too.
Okay.
Yeah, he was Brain in Overlord, and he's in a lot of really weird. I'm going down to see if he was in Yuri on Ice, but he's not. Damn it. Anyway, back to performances. I actually really liked that Bevan switched them around from who you would have expected.
Because normally you would think it would be the opposite.
Yeah, because face it, Hiruto is
your typical Tatum character, Tsukitachi's more of your typical Ian character.
If you could put a blinking billboard that said, cast me as Tatum, you would stick its ass over Hiruto. It would be so obnoxious you would think you're in Vegas.
Yeah. It's kind of obnoxious. But my thing is, I think part of it's probably the problem is that the whole voice acting Black Magic story that originated. I could tell that Hiruto was Ian. Though I couldn't
because I was dumb. Because I'm dumb.
I could tell it was Ian. However, at the same time, I could see moments where it's where I had to stop for a second. I'm like, okay, I can see why that could be mixed up with Tatum. You know what I mean? But again, those two performances are really good. Again, like we were talking about earlier, Tsukitachi suffers from the whole writing problem with his dialogue. Ian played here. They both were really well, given what they had and the different personalities and character traits that these two captains had. With Ian kind of like the gentleman type of character, where he's very compassionate and not really quiet, but very logical and smart, and will take the brunt of any trouble that comes his way. And then you have Tatum, who is basically a snarky jagoff. Basically, yes. And again, I think my favorite interactions are the ones between the two airship captains and Akari. So we have Ian, Tatum, and Dave Matrango all sitting in a room together. And they're talking to each other.
What was it? When they have one of my favorite lines is, we can get together and have tea. By tea, do you mean alcohol?
Yes.
And then they're doing stuff in Akari's room, and Akari's just losing his mind. He's like,
and then eventually
You're
Akari's
just
passed the fuck out, and Hiruto's like, you really shouldn't have given him that much. And Tsukitachi's just like, not my fault, he's a lightweight.
Yeah, it's just those two guys, and one of the things I actually really enjoy about Ian as Hiruto is how very reassuring he is as a character.
Oh, absolutely. Especially that last third involving Garki.
Yeah, do you want to be a child of Airship 2?
Yes.
When he's basically essentially asking him to come join him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is he knows that Garaki wants to stay, but he doesn't know how to say it because Garaki's not good with people.
Right.
And I feel like he's very, very much, like, genuinely trying to help him. And it's really sweet, and he doesn't really... And Ian gets to really explore this as a character.
Yeah.
Which you don't really get to always see Ian play these types of characters. And I feel like Bevins really does get to bring it out of him, whether it be as Hiruto, or when he was, oh god, what was his character's name in Aka? It's been
Grossler.
a while. Oh, Grossler.
Grossler.
Yeah, Grossler.
There we go.
Like, I feel like you don't get to always hear that out of Ian because he's playing, like, these big burly dudes, or, like, even Walrick had shades of it, but again,
Yeah.
I haven't actually finished the train wreck that is Gangster. Rest in peace, Manglobe. I know we're raiding your grave right now, but you're used to usually hearing him as things like, just to give an example, Daikoku in Noragami.
He usually plays...
Or as Frankie.
A lot of characters that we've seen him play before have a lot of, like, energy, like, boundless energy to them. And Ian is really good at playing these energetic characters. But it's always...
I mean, look at Dandy.
Yeah, Dandy, prime example. But it's always so refreshing to come back and see this different kind of role. By the way, now that I'm thinking of it, you said he played Frankie. You are incorrect. He is Brooke.
Close enough.
No, it's not close enough. There's a huge fucking difference.
Yeah.
Don't make me drag
so-
Zenith in here and she will explain this to you.
I can't believe I mistook Frankie, and that's Patrick, who is also known for playing guys with boundless energy.
Yeah.
So...
But yeah, it's... For Ian, this is so refreshing to see a different kind of character for him. It's so much fun. And the same can be said for Tatum.
Because
Tatum, we see him as these more intellectual, kind of calm, bookish kind of characters. But then
I mean, how many times have we heard him play, like, Sebastian in Black Butler?
Right.
Or, I'm trying to think of other bookish characters that Tatum has played,
Ray.
and I'm trying... What?
Ray and Free?
Ray. Well, Ray has energy because Ray is a dork. Ray is a knucklehead McSpazatron. I agree totally, and again, this is bringing performances out of people who you don't normally expect this out of.
Yeah.
Like, I was gonna say Shiro from Assassination Classroom.
Okay,
is
yep,
another bookish
okay,
character.
yeah. That's true.
I mean, this is like when Mike McFarlane cast Ms. Burnaby in Empire. Shit, you don't expect Tatum in. Shout out to one of Lack's husbandos. Dang.
And Lax.
All we've got to do is get Andrew, Jamal,
Noah,
and Noah's easy. Just insult some American cartoon and tell them that they're like Canadian or something.
Oh, we haven't sent Zenith on the airship either. And Sneeps.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we threw Zenith under the bus. I got her One Piece fact wrong. It's gonna throw her into a fit.
There we go. We didn't throw Sneeps.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is that Eric Vale plays Usa. And I'm sorry, you can't troll.
That's a joke
You
against
cannot
who was it,
troll.
Rojas?
You can't troll Sneebs because Sneebs is troll incarnate.
And
You ready to go?
And
You ready?
yes, I am.
Alright, so on to our final, our second to last pair, Skumo, who is the very quiet other female member of Airship 2, and Yogi, who can be defined as man-child incarnate, who is 21 and a half, mind you. He is not a child.
21
He's
and a half.
also Nyan Perona,
Yeah.
the embodiment of man among the children in the world of Karneval.
And is the
So-
best fucking character of the
Yogi
show.
is kind of the best.
Bar
Yogi is the
none.
best character, and which is why in Japan he's played by Mamoru Miyano.
Of course
who
he is.
Who is like characters like Tsukiyama and Prince Swan from Aka, or the two, and of course everyone's least favorite Canadian, JJ.
I forgot that he was JJ.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Steph. Who else in Japan's gonna play JJ, the man with his own name tramp stamped
To
on
be
him?
fair, I never finished the Japanese of Yuri on Ice.
Oh my god, no, seriously, if I'm looking at JJ, I'm like, in Japan, that's Mamoru Miyano, because nobody has enough pork in their body to play that character.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so Skumo is played, shout out to the Japanese version of Skumo, who is actually Aya Endo, who plays characters such as, she plays a Claire in the Fairy Tale movie.
Okay.
And she's also in, she's in Excel World as Skyraker in the Japanese.
Okay.
And she's Silver in the Ancient Magus Bride, which is coming out. But in the English, she is played by Miss Jade Saxton, who plays Ruruka Ando in Danganronpa 3, both the Future and the Despair arc. She's Chika Takami in Love Live Sunshine, and Karin Ishida in Shangri-La. And Chris Bevins plays Yogi, because Chris Bevins casts himself in everything
why the fuck
that he
not?
does. Not. He is Nino in Aka 13, Fastener in Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt, as well as Canon Hilbert in Spiral, in which if you've ever wanted to see Chris Bevins do a southern accent on a character, watch Spiral. When I said, if you were to ask me who Alison Victorian played and Jade Saxton played in this show without ever watching it, I would have had them switched. Because I feel like Jade would have been your traditional pick of Kichi, because she's playing the tsundere all the time.
Yep.
Skumo is a mouse person.
Very much so. She's
I don't think
much
Skumo
more introverted
yells.
compared to some of the other characters that we meet.
I believe Skumo yells one time in the entire show.
Yep. That's it.
She is not something I expect out of Jade, and I like it a lot.
I found it enjoyable too. It's a theme tonight, unconventional casting, and it's works really well. It's not one of the more memorable performances really of the show, partially because Skumo doesn't have an extreme amount of screen time, but also because the person that she's 9 times out of 10 up against, holy fucking shit, Chris Bevins.
Oh my god, Yogi never stops. He's like the Energizer Bunny.
Speaking of roles we would never peg Chris Bevins to voice. Terran
Not in a
Residence,
million years.
Nino here in Aka, fucking Yogi.
Even Canon in Spiral is very, very, like, slow and methodical because he's a character that's planning out and pulling strings. Yogi is an idiot.
Here's a funny thing, like, when I saw trailers for the release of Karneval and there was only these small little, like, sound bites of Bevins as Yogi, I was so hesitant about it.
Like,
It was-
and you were like that with 9, too, from Terror and
That's
Resonance.
exactly where I'm going with this. And then I watched the show, and I let him go for like 20 minutes in, like, what was it, episode 2? I'm done.
Yeah, episode 2 is when he shows up, and he just...
So
And here's the
done.
thing, too, is not only does he have to change from Yogi's bass voice into Nyam Perona, who is this suit character, like the Mickey Mouse of Carnival
Basically.
for little children, and he has stores in cities, and children of love everywhere love him. He also has a moment, I believe, in episode 10 where his allergy patch falls off, and he goes, cuckoo.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
And if you're asking, yes, that they do actually explain what happens in the manga, what it is.
Cool.
And you can kind of infer what's happening if you can dig in a little bit.
I think I read spoilers online. I'm like, oh shit, yeah. But
and it works as a character thing.
It does.
But it's like I said with Jade, it's not like we haven't heard her be quiet. If you've watched Ms. Kobayashi's Dragon Maid this year, Kana is very quiet, but even then Skumo is quieter than Kana.
Yeah.
And the way that they bounce off each other too. And it's not only that, it's the way that she bounces off of Nai and Garaki's energy, and then Yogi and Garaki going back and forth is hysterical.
It's the best! My bottom line, my thoughts of Bevins as Yogi is he stole the fucking show and ran with it, and it was the best thing in the world. Yogi was
Chris
my
just
favorite
put
performance
himself
bar
as
none.
arguably one of the best characters in the show and just said, get him a level, boys.
He's like, I'm out! I've done my
Boy.
job. I've done my duty. I am
Girl.
out. I just could not stop dying of laughter every time I saw Bevins voicing Yogi, and it was not only hysterical, it was so interesting because, again, it comes down to, again, the theme of the night, unconventional casting, where you would never peg Bevins as this kind of character. To be fair, I did see twinges of, like, Agakure without the stoner kind of accent deal. I saw twinges of that here and there when it came to Yogi, but it was still so much fun. And it's like, you can never shut him up. You just let him go, and he's just off and running to the races, and like Energizer Bunny just keeps going and going, and oh, sweet lord.
Yeah. I guess I can't say anything more than she already has. So, are you ready to move on to the last?
We got 3 and they're individuals?
Doing individual characters now for the last 3 because they are the most plot relevant.
Yep.
We're gonna start off with Karaku.
The one that she almost forgot when making her list.
I drink to forget Karaku's performance. Let's go with that.
Oh, boy.
I'm not very happy with it. Alright, so we have Karaku played by Vic Mignogna, who plays characters like Johannes and Aquarion, Mamoru Torigari from Razavon, and Fai the Flowerite from Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. If you're watching this in the Japanese, this is going to be Soichiro Hoshi, who plays characters like Makoto Ogami in Ghost Hound, as well as he's also Samon Goku in the Japanese version of Nambaka.
Okay.
So, do you want to go first? Because I have a lot of issues with this.
Oh boy. I think the short story of this is the short story we're trying to get to here is this probably is the weakest performance of the show. That's the short story. The long story, at least for me, is the issue. The issue I really have with Vic, because believe me, it's not as I don't have as many or as big of issues as Megan does. She'll talk about that in a minute. But
for the record, I do not have a hate boner for this man.
No, it's just this does not work. My thing is because Karaku, a good amount of the show is just a voice Nai hears. There's no physical presence. If we're just basing it off of that, personally, I think it works. Like, if we never saw a physical character or a physical being, having Vic as that voice in Nai's head, I think it works. The problem then becomes when we see the physical character. And again, when we were talking about Alaska, to remind people, this kid is 18 years old. It suddenly becomes an issue where the physicality of this character does not match the voice. And as unconventional as some of the other casting was with like Brandon Potter as Udo, or frickin' Tyson Reinhardt, or Dave Petranga, this casting choice, I understand the reasoning for it. I understand like what they were going for. But I think the final product, at least when we see the physical character itself, the final product of that part of it just really didn't really work too well for me. I mean, again, if we were just judging it as like an omnipresent or omnipotent voice, I'm fine with it. Because how Vic played that, it's like a calm and soothing voice for Nai to recognize that can have little bits of moments where he's menacing. Especially in the early parts where he's saying, like, you really need to stop being friends with Gariki because you're gonna break him. Like, that stuff, that really worked. And then, you see the scenes where you see the physical character of Karaku, and it doesn't line up.
Okay, I'm at it. That's it. I'm going off. I hate this performance so much. I fucking hate it. It is the worst performance in this dub for me. Bar none. And here's the thing that I have issues with. Number one, there is no sense of inflection for me in the character. It is bland. It is boring. It is, oh, this guy looks sickly and quiet. I'm just gonna play him sickly and quiet. If you've watched the show, you learn that there are 2 different Karakus. Yep. There's the Karaku that's in Nai's memories, and there's the Karaku that's been manipulating him. You cannot tell the difference between either of them. And I don't know if it's because Nai is not supposed to tell the difference between them. But you as a viewer, you're supposed to tell the difference between the one that's interacting with Alisko and the one that's interacting with Nai in his mind. There is no tonal difference.
Here, I'm gonna stop you right there, because this was actually pointed out. The Karaku interacting with Aleska is the same one that was in Nai's mind.
Okay.
It is the exact same one. It's not the two separate ones, because I'm gonna call him the fake Karaku. He even brings this up in episode 13, where he outright says that I was the one we were talking to.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is like when you watch, and I'm gonna bring this up because there's another show that we both genuinely really enjoy, where there's a character with a split personality. And it isn't revealed until a different point how you can tell which one's in control and which one's talking to each other.
Which one was that one?
Compare how he plays the two Karakus to how Micah plays Black and Blank from Blood Blockade Battlefront. Before you know there's a difference between them.
Okay.
They have two different ways of speaking. You can tell Blank, the King of Despair, is more forward, more menacing, and more gleefully evil before you realize there's a split personality to where Black talks to Leo, where he is a lot more quiet and more sensitive.
Right.
There is no difference to me between Vic's Karaku, and that, of all things, really lets me down because we know Vic Mignogna is a fantastic voice actor. There is no excuse for honestly how lazy this performance comes off. I do not like it.
I get that. I understand where you're completely coming from. I think the big thing, though, to again remember is the majority of the show, if not all of it, is the fake Karaku. I don't even recall ever hearing like the real Karaku.
And that's the thing, is because how can you tell if they sound both exactly the same?
But here's the thing.
There's supposed to be a point of a twist with it. You can hide the twist, but there's a way that he can inflect his voice or be like it just a slight octave difference.
No, here's
you can tell.
Here's my point, though. If the real Karaku never said anything in the show, that doesn't give Vic an opportunity to make those distinct choices.
But I feel like he does have a moment in the show where he talks, because you can't tell in Nai's memories which one it is.
Okay.
I think that you could be able to show the difference between Nai getting manipulated in his dreams and Nai's genuine memories of the man that took care of him. Because Nai is childish because Nai is an animal, but Nai is still shown to be compassionate and knows and is shown to tell the emotional differences in people. It's a huge point that he talks about the difference between people being warm and cold, or if they're quote-unquote drowning because they're crying.
I get that, but to an extent, there is slight differences. They're very, very subtle. Like, again, early on, when the fake Karaku's talking to Nai, and is telling him to stop being friends with Garaki because you're going to break him.
Yeah, like, that stuff was good.
That stuff is
good. But
good.
when you're getting into the last episode, when the character is being developed and you're kind of revealing the twist, that's where it falls short. And that's what honestly upsets me, because everybody else in that episode is on their A game. And now you're stepping down, especially against a role that a lot of people genuinely do not like that actor.
Then I feel like that's more on the fault of the show and the character and not on Vic.
Even then, I still don't like his performance as this character. I think it's one of the weakest ones he's done as a character.
I'm going to agree with you. It is one of the weakest ones, but I think, given some of the circumstances in the show itself, I feel like there's valid reasons.
I think I'm being a little too hard.
No, I don't blame you for being really hard on it, but I think if you think about it logically and with some of the story elements itself, you at the same time you can kind of see why it might lean in that direction. I mean, could it have been more developed and better? Yes, but also, again, part of that, again, is the show's fault, because we didn't see a lot of the real Karaku, so that way Vic has that opportunity to make distinct choices between both characters, to make that difference clear.
if a second season comes around, we might get to hear the difference of it.
Yeah,
again,
now,
we aren't at the luxury of that happening with Mandalore being down.
Because again, we find out about this twist at the last possible second.
Yeah.
And the real Karaku doesn't really say anything except for maybe like
that we know of.
Except for maybe like one or two hints in Nai's memory outside of that throughout the whole show.
Yeah.
So.
And I honestly do hope that if they eventually, like, hypothetically say we get another season of Karneval.
Yeah.
And that they get the entire cast to come back. Even with other things that Vic has recently done, I don't know if I would still feel like it was the right choice in the end of it. But I wouldn't put it past him because, again, he's a great actor to essentially get this. I mean, I've had qualms with him in certain roles, such as in Digimon Adventure Try, where I think he was an awful Matt. But I've also really liked him in stuff as, what's his nuts in Garo? Mendoza. So, I mean, he's got it there, but I do feel like this is one of his weakest performances, and it really kind of started a trend of, maybe we should not be making Vic these, like, 15-year-olds be shonens anymore. Maybe we should start letting his range evolve a little bit more, because I feel like, again, this is probably also a little bit of typecasting.
Yeah.
Because he's pretty and younger.
Yeah,
looking.
and I think, unfortunately, something that didn't really work very well for the show was the marketing of the release.
Oh, yeah, because he's such a big part of it.
Yeah, because, if anyone's ever recalled seeing the trailers for Karneval, apparently one of the big selling points was that it features the voices of Vic Mignogna and J. Michael Tatum. And it said so outright in the trailer. And the two of them probably have such smaller roles. It's like, what? Again, with that logic, I understand the reasoning. I know O-Run is a thing. Fullmetal Alchemist is a thing. Black Butler's a thing. I get it. Not the best marketing strategy, in my opinion.
Yeah, really. Highlight some of your other actors, like the gentleman we're moving on to right now. Garaki, who is played by Andrew's, the one person Andrew can ever get right, Hiroshi KAmiYU. Nailed it.
Yes.
Hey, Andrew. He's also Levi in Attack on Titan, and Akashi in Kuroko no Basket, which is one of my favorite roles he's ever done. And he's Yato in Noragami. But he's also played by Greg Ayers,
Yay!
who plays Takia Abe in Big Wind-Up, Koyuki in Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, and Kosuke, and this is one specifically I picked for this, was Kosuke Asazuki in Spiral. And I picked that because Garaki and Kosuke share a and Abe all share one thing in common. Greg doesn't have to use his little boy voice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
You know how, a few weeks ago when we were talking about Diabolic Lovers More Blood, with Azuna, that it was...
How can anybody forget the classic episode that is Diabolic Lovers More Blood?
No,
or as Noah calls it, taking an innocent, sweet little show and turning it into Caligula.
No, but what I mean, like, when we were talking about how Greg, when Gigi talked to him at AB, how Greg enjoyed Azuna because it was so different than him playing, like, the perky kid. The same could probably be said here if you were to ask him, if I had to take a wild guess at that. Because, trend of the night, unconventional casting. This is so different. Extremely different than what you know Greg Ayers and what you normally see him as. And, admittedly, it took, like, maybe an episode or so for me to get into it. And then I really got it. And... It really worked because Garaki's, God, how old's Garaki? Maybe like 16?
Garaki is 15, 16 years old?
Yeah, so he's...
And I mean, he does kind of sound like more like an 18 or 19-year-old to me, honestly, but...
To be fair, yeah, but...
He gets
it.
He
got it. Like, the personality, the mentality, the struggles that Garaki was going through throughout the whole show.
Especially in regards to how lonely this kid is.
Yeah. Like,
and I think Greg honestly gets it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to kind of beat Greg up for this role.
Yeah. Like, honestly, because again, my mindset was the same thing with the Bevins and Yogi thing. I originally only saw the trailer before jumping into the dub, and I was very hesitant on Greg being Garaki. again, and like I was saying, I get into the show, give it an episode or two, and I'm like, I get it because Greg gets it, and it just works so well. It's such a different character for him to play, and because
he's so tsundere.
Yes, he's so fucking tsundere. It's great. Every time the image of Nai as the little animal thing pops up, he's just like
little Niji Nai.
Like,
I actually used that on Hardy because he got me in a game we were playing on the Funimation forum. It's like, damn you.
But yeah, like, because
when he picks him up in the snow and like Nai's like flailing around like a little piece of shit, and I'm just like, oh Nai, you're so cute.
Yes. But because Greg understood where Garaki was coming from and who Garaki was, it made the performance much more enjoyable for me. And it really worked.
And I wonder how much Greg brought in from his own personal life into Garaki, because I feel like this is a character that he could really get into because of what Garaki goes through. And I feel like a lot of people really give him shit for this. Mm-hmm. And he's not bad. He's actually really good. And there's a lot of really quiet, nuanced things. And yeah, he sounds a little bit older, but I mean, it's not bad. He emotes. He puts a lot of heart into it. And I feel like sometimes that's enough. And I think Bevan's directed him in a really great way. So I don't have much to add on to what you said.
Yeah. Like, honestly, as weird of a casting choice it may seem to people, it works. I'm okay with this. And again, a lot of it comes down to Greg understood the character. He understood what he was doing. And
I think he also bounced off of what energy Chris was giving as Yogi, because the two of them are hysterical together, and what Ian was giving as Hiruto.
And then when we get to Nai in a second here, what Nai...
I was just gonna say, if we want to transition into Nai on this.
Yeah.
And then you have Nai, who is played by Sean Michael Teague, who I mentioned Takia Abe in Big Wind-Up because on the other side, because Takia is the catcher, on the other side is Sean Michael Teague as Ren Mihashi in Big Wind-Up, who Hardy absolutely hates, by the way.
Yes. He's
also Benvolio in Romeo x Juliet, and one of my personal favorite roles in all of Fairy Tail, Usuke, who is this crazy fish guy. But it's really funny how I went out of my way to actually pick one Bevan show for everybody I could. Yeah. And of all the people that Nai could have been in the Japanese, he's played by Hiro Shimono, who of all characters, if you can believe it, he's also Gene Otis in Japan.
What?
Yeah, right?
What?
I'm not kidding.
I fucking quit. I'm done. I'm done. Have a good night. You can finish this show on your own. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, no, I will actually, but no.
No, you won't.
No, but looking over at Sean as Nai, it's a...
I'm gonna say this again. The same thing, the same issue I had originally with Bevins as Yogi and with Greg as Garaki. I saw the trailer. I was so hesitant for Sean as Nai. And then I got it when I saw the show. I need to stop being worried when it comes to this kind of shit, especially if it's a Bevan show. Because this is not the first time I've run through a Bevan show I have this fucking problem where I see a trailer and I have problems with it. Damn it!
Oh my god. It's just like, Nai he gets the whole naivety of Nai, because Nai, again, is an animal.
Right. I mean, admittedly for me, with Sean's performance, it was a little obnoxious at first.
It is, because he screams, and Nai cries a lot.
Yes.
And it's very high pitched. It is about an octave higher than what because I went through and kind of played the first few minutes of the commentaries just in case Sean Michael Teague was on one, and he is on the episode 13 one, so you can hear his normal speaking voice. And it does sound a little bit like Nai, but lower.
Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, it was obnoxious at first, but I think it was around the point where we learned that Nai is actually an animal, where I got much more comfortable with it and I got more enjoyment out of it after that. But yeah, I mean, again, with characters and their energy and playing off of each other, Nai is very, very naive, but he's also probably, if anything, if you had to make a comparison, Nai is like a child.
Nai's a baby.
Nai's a baby. He's a child. So he's learning things for the first time, and it's an interesting perspective because you're essentially seeing the world that Nai sees through a kid's eyes. So that brings a very interesting and different dynamic in terms of his interactions with Garaki and Yogi, and Jiki is an interesting dynamic too, or Skumo, and it's played very well. I mean, once you get past that initial hurdle of the obnoxiousness that it is, I think it's really well. It's not one of the strongest or one of my favorite performances of the show, but it's definitely a very solid performance of anything to me.
Yeah, I honestly, it is really good, and it's really cute at points too, because Nai has these moments where he describes things that aren't the way you would think. Like, he describes crying as drowning, and it's very, very sweet and endearing, and I really like that about the character and about Sean's performance about him. I also want 10,000 Niji plushies.
Yes. Yes.
So
I think we need to attempt to track some down at A-Fest.
I don't think, no, I've actually looked online for like years and I can't find
What?
them.
That's depressing.
I know. Anyway, are you ready to move on to final thoughts?
Sure.
Alrighty, so final thoughts. This is a really good dub that I think a lot of people like to talk a lot of smack about without understanding it.
GG, cough.
Cough, cough. Gigi hates the show.
Gigi hates the show.
But I think that this is a show that's very sweet and very endearing. A little bit nutty, but it's got its heart in the right place, and I think the dub, aside from one character, is really well done and really unexpected.
I'm kind of a little sad that this one basically flown under the radar and wasn't.
Pick it up on Save Label, you cheap bastards.
Yep. It's one of those shows, like, I can understand like, in terms of the show itself, I can understand why people dislike it. Personally,
it's a little weird.
It's a little weird. It's not, like, the most phenomenal thing in the world, but I do enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun. And the dub is and this is another reason why I'm sad it's flown under the radar, because this dub has some of the most unconventional casting choices and performances that I've ever seen. Probably aside from shows that probably particularly Sunny Strait has directed recently. This is probably one of the older ones of the past few years that has some really unconventional casting, and it's really enjoyable because of that. The only downfall, really, that the show has is unfortunately the writing of it, where it's very modernized and very much slanged out, and again, it just really took me out of the show whenever it happened, but a lot of the performances were so much fun. Especially in terms of standouts for me, I would have to say probably Evans as Yogi, Gabe Matranga as Akari, and probably Greg as Garaki. Those are at least the standouts to me for performances. Oh, Brandon Power as Uro. That's the other one I was thinking.
Yeah, Uro.
Those are definitely the standouts to me for the show. This is one show and one dub that I consider it an underdog of sorts and underappreciated, and
the show that doesn't get a lot of love from the fan base.
It's kind of depressing.
Yeah, honestly,
it really is.
I'd also give a shout out for Jessica Kavanaugh as Eva, yes. and honestly Tyson as
yes.
And I'd give Tyson Reinhardt a little love there as Kagari.
Yes. I can agree with that too.
And obviously Dave and Jerry as Aizana and Akari. And just honestly the whole cast.
Yeah, honestly.
Because as much, again, aside from one person, but even then I would still give him some love. Mm-hmm. They all did a really good job, and it was a lot of fun, and it's a dub that you should just check out to say you've checked out. I mean, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Move on. But if it is your thing, it's a dub that's really underappreciated. Honestly.
I'm curious to know, and I need to ask her this. I don't know if Gigi actually has seen the dub.
I don't think she wants to, and I wouldn't put her through it because she's not gonna like a lot of it.
Probably not, but in terms of writing wise, probably. But I mean, she has admitted to shows where she hates the Japanese, but the dub made it better for her.
Token Ranbu, which you still need to watch.
Eventually. But yeah, this one is one of those ones that's very underappreciated. It's flown so much under the radar that I like Megan said, I would give it a try. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. We don't blame you for that. Every person and their tastes are different. But I had a lot of fun going back and watching this show and seeing the dub for the first time. And it's one of those shows that I've been meaning to get back to, too. And I'm glad that I finally did on this out of nowhere. Like, let's do an episode because we need one for next week. And we're like, Carnival, let's go!
Hey, I mean, if you want to check it out, you can go on to Funimation.com and check it out if you have a paid subscription. Honestly, I don't know why you don't have a Funimation Now subscription because it's the best $5 you can waste.
Yeah, I think as of right now, the Japanese is still with Funimation. It has not.
It might migrate.
It has not been.
Potentially could migrate.
Yeah, but it has not been transferred or migrated to Crunchyroll at the time of this recording, but it could happen eventually. Because I know they've been slowly integrating the old Funimation titles in the Japanese over to Crunchyroll. Carnival just hasn't been on that list yet.
Like I said, you can buy it on the Save label. If you're interested and you have watched the show and you want to know what happens next, you can pick up the manga from Yen Press. They come into these very obnoxious, very large 2-in-1 editions. And like I said, if you actually go to the end of every issue, every volume, you actually have something called Karneval OST, which is the recording of the drama CDs, in which you can actually see all of the characters and actually see the original mangaka draw all of your favorite seiyuu as they appear. If you want to,
remind me to put Carnival on my.
Chill us, bitch.
Remind me to put Carnival on my to buy list for A-Fest.
I will. So chill yourself, or do you want me to go first because it's your channel?
I don't care.
I'll go first. My name is Amelia Bandit Snatch, and I own a slaughterhouses in the southern United States.
Apparently that joke will never die.
Nope, not until I die, which I don't know how long that'll take. Anyway, my name is Megan, and if you enjoy me and my shit posting in real life, you should follow me at QueenHero2 on Twitter, where I basically retweet things, cry about stuff, and post pictures of my cat named Shinya.
And if you're interested...
This is my wife.
my wife.
My wife.
And if you're interested if you're interested in any of the shenanigans that I get myself into, you can follow me on Twitter at Lilac Anime Review, with review being spelled, of course, as REVUE, like a musical review, where I usually just talk about how shit my day usually is. Because usually that's what I talk about, because it's busy as shit. But I'm excited because at the time this episode will go up, I actually start a new position in the company I work for this week, so I'm excited. So it'll be a new adventure for me. But if you're interested in anything else from the Dub Talk crew, you can, of course, subscribe here to YouTube, where we post episodes every week. And currently, as of right now, at least for the summer, we are posting our Summer at the Movies episodes as well. At the time of this recording, or at the time of this episode's release, this week you will be seeing One Piece Film Gold with Andrew Renzetis. Look forward to that this week. And you can also follow us on Twitter at dubtalkpodcast. You can also follow us on Tumblr and Instagram at dubtalkpodcast as well.
Oh god, is this the podcast that goes up the week before Anime Fest?
No, it is not.
No, because this week was Soccer Quest, next week is a race.
No, next week is Carnival.
I thought, never mind.
Speaking of a race, at the time of recording this episode, the boys are recording a race on Sunday, so you'll probably be seeing that episode the following week or so. So look forward to that.
Now I have to watch, I have to watch Ping Pong for our episode.
So yeah, we're working on that. But otherwise than that, we should be all set for today.
Well, this was a fun adventure that I did not expect to last 2 hours.
Well, I mean, it's been a while since it's just been you and I think since Terran Residence.
Yeah,
since Terran Residence, actually.
Of all things, Chris Bevins bringing wives together.
What is this? Anyways.
Disclaimer, we're not actually dating, guys.
No.
Calm down.
I'm not that. I
She's not
don't
gay.
swing that way.
Yeah, she's not gay, guys. We're just really good friends.
But anyways, that's it for us.
That was fun. Back to the Airship 3. What would our robot animal be?
Ooh, because we have what? Airship 1 has the bunnies, Airship 2 has the sheep.
2 has the sheep.
Oh, that's an easy one. We'd
Goat.
be cats. What are you talking about?
That's right. We'd have little robot cats that would go,
I was like, why am I overthinking it? We'd be fucking cats.
Cats.
Anyway, have a good night, guys. I'm talking on, my friends.
眩しい未来を